Hey, it's Marcus, and welcome to another episode of Between the Bellows, a show that combines short stories and all things large format photography. Today, I'm going to be comparing two different styles of 8x10 cameras. On one hand, you're gonna see my Arca Swiss 8x10 Monorail camera, and we're gonna compare the differences to a Chamonix 8x10 wooden field camera. So in case you were wondering which camera might be right for you, if you were getting into large format, we can learn a little bit more about it today together. So let's dive in and take a look. Weighing in at 11.2 pounds, we have the Arca Swiss F-metric 8x10 view camera. Normally when you think of 8x10 monorail cameras, you think giant bulky systems with this huge bulky rail that has to travel in a giant case together. But the nice thing about this Arca Swiss 8x10 is that this rail along the bottom detaches from the body of the camera. And so they can travel in two separate pieces in my backpack, and it makes it a little bit more portable, not quite as compact as a field camera, but it does get it a little bit closer. This camera is made out of metal and it's built like a tank. Its geared movements are a dream for photographers who crave control over their compositions, allowing for precise adjustments with ease. There are markings on this camera everywhere. So if you're someone who likes to work in environments where time and consistency matter, these markings will ensure that once you find the perfect setup, you can easily and accurately recreate it. This camera has a bail back, so to load your camera, simply pull the handle back until it clicks, insert your film, and pull once more to release, and you are good to go. With every turn of a knob, from focusing to adjusting shift, the camera feels very stable and the movements are very, very smooth. Also, there's a very satisfying click when you mount the lens so you know it's locked in place. So the Arca Swiss is all about precision, and the biggest feature that I really love about it is that it has geared movements on the camera. And so while I'm focusing on the ground glass under the dark cloth, with my free hand, I could be applying some front tilt to the lens and seeing those adjustments in real time. And what's cool about it is that once I've made that adjustment with the turn of a knob, it stays in place. And you know, if you ever want to go back to straight up and down, there's a nice indent and zeroed out position that you will feel as soon as you get back to zero position. If I want to apply some rise and fall to the lens, as soon as I let go of that adjustment, it stays in place. There's no loosening and retightening and adjusting as you go. And so for a street portrait, those few seconds that you save, that's really valuable for me because I want to be able to move quickly. I don't want to eat into, people's day and their time. And so I like being able to move quickly and having those really, really precise movements on the camera. And now we're going to look at the Chamonix 8x10 wooden field camera. And as you can tell, there are some very big visual differences right off the bat that are obvious compared to my Arca Swiss 8x10 F-metric. Mainly being that there is no rail on the bottom and that this camera folds up into a very compact size that allows you to use a smaller backpack and maybe makes it a little bit easier to travel with. The weight, though, is only about a pound or two lighter than the Arca Swiss, so it's not that much different. To open it, everything is folded up and you just open the rear standard. And you have to pop out the front standard and you have to screw it into one of these holes at the front depending on what lens you're using. And once you have all these guide dots lined up that make sure that everything's straight, you would throw your lens on and you'd be ready to focus and shoot. Weighing in at 9.5 pounds, this camera is elegant and lightweight. And despite its traditional design, it doesn't skimp on functionality, offering a wide range of movements for photographers. However, those movements are manually adjusted. So for rise and fall, you turn a set of inner knobs, make your adjustment, and tighten when you found your frame. And the same goes for front tilt. You loosen the outer knobs and make your tilt adjustments and tighten once you're happy with the composition. When you loosen the tie down on the front standard, you'll be able to make adjustments for your front shift and swing. To get back to a zeroed out position, simply line up all the white dots together. focus is controlled by one knob on the rear of the camera. Simply turn it and it will rack the focus bit out to your desired position. And once you're happy, you can lock that down so you don't get any unwanted movements. The Chamonix 8x10 also has a bail-back lever to help with loading, which I think is awesome because a lot of field cameras do not have this feature. And since there's no rail, the Chamonix can sit on the ground if that's important for you. So that was a quick comparison between an 8x10 monorail camera and an 8x10 wooden field camera. I hope that might have answered some questions in case you were on the fence about which system might be right for you. I know what works for me just with my workflow and my style of photography, but that might be different for everybody else. And so I hope this was a helpful guide for you to use. And if you like this content, please like, subscribe, and share with a friend. And I hope to see you on the next episode of Between the Bellows. Thanks.